Hello everyone. Basically on November the 13th, which was a Wednesday, I was in Poland at Camerimage 2019 and I managed to get an interview with Adam Newport Berra, who was the DOP cinematographer for The Last Black Man in San Francisco. I did a video about The Last Black Man in San Francisco probably a couple of weeks back and I said I might get an interview, and I did. The unfortunate thing about the interview is that my camera, this camera, basically died halfway through, and then I've got audio running on a voice memo, which will be the second part of the interview. So I guess enjoy the interview, enjoy the video part of it, and then enjoy the audio part of it, and I'll just put some images on top. But yeah, here's the interview with Adam Newport Berra at Camerimage 2019.
I've got a series of questions. So
Sure.
I guess actually I looked at Thanksgiving and I looked at All the Wilderness trailer.
Yeah.
And I said I wrote, I'm just being really like journalistic-y.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
There seems to be an intimacy and a distance that you like to have in your style of shooting in those particular films. And so when I saw the film that interested me most was Thanksgiving, because I love like relationship films and stuff like that. And that's
cool.
really interesting.
Thank you.
But it's like, but you seem to have shot that in like an observational documentary style, like totally following the action.
Yeah.
And I was going to say, is it your preferred way of shooting? I know it's easy to say, you know, you have to go to what the project tells you, but what do you prefer, you personally? That's what I was wondering.
It's funny, I go through phases because I think I get excited about something and then I do it a lot and then I move on to the next thing, and it's like my process is like constantly trying to gain new skills and try new things out, figure out what I like about it. And maybe I'll abandon it for a while, and then I'll come back to it. And it's like the more I do that, the more I'm kind of getting all these different experiences, and I'm able to collage them into something else for my next project.
Right. Okay.
Because like for me, you know, people ask me about like my style or like how my work looks.
Yeah.
And I think for me, like I pride myself on the fact that I don't think there's a lot of consistency in a lot of ways. I think it's like my work is kind of all over the place, and that's what I love about it, is that my working style is actually is less tuned into what my projects look like and more like how they are to work on set.
Right.
You know, it's the approach. It's work. My style is more about how I work with the director and how I work with the team.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like you said, a lot of it, the approach. Thank you. The approach really does hinge on on the content and on the way the director wants to approach it.
Yeah.
With Thanksgiving, I wrote, produced, direct, shot that.
You co-wrote it, right? And
I co-wrote it exactly with one of the actors. So for me, it was a tiny project. It was like self-funded and kickstarted.
Yeah.
And I wanted to be nimble and fast, and I wanted the performances to be as like raw as possible and as like intimate as possible. So for me, it was all about just setting the actors up to have that experience.
Yeah.
And if I was going to spend time like putting a camera on sticks, framing different shots, like it would just slowed their process down, because it was literally just like me and an AC. You know, we didn't have any crew.
Really?
Yeah, I had like one guy helping me with lighting sometimes.
Yeah.
But for the most part, it was just all natural.
Cool. What did you shoot that on? What was
on
that
Alexa.
shot? Alexa. Yeah.
So for me, it was the way that served the film best. Because I think I tried to figure out what my assets were, and my assets were having like these actors, which I thought were really strong, and a cool story, and letting them explore that and have fun with that was the most important thing. What's up, guys? Hi. How are you? That's my agent.
Okay.
So for me, sorry, I lost my train of thought. It was just all about finding like what the project's strengths are. And so for All the Wilderness, it was the same thing, where we had a lot of these young actors who have a lot of energy and who have these kind of like spontaneous moments that are really brilliant. And I wanted to be loose and nimble enough to capture those. While at the same time, like within All the Wilderness, we had times to like break out and be wider. You know, like micro and macro. And even in Thanksgiving, I do that. Like the first half of the film is all handheld, really tight, and then when they go on the hike, you step back and it's wider and you breathe. It's all about finding those juxtapositions.
But I mean, that's the thing, I think, for me, because I guess I'm just thinking about when I shot observational documentary. I've kind of shot documentary mainly, and like I did some stuff for like the Arab British Centre in the UK, and like just did like little corporates or whatever. But like I guess it's you just feel the moment essentially, or you set up to be able to put yourself in the best position for that moment. And then what if actors are like if actors are demanding or not necessarily demanding, they want to do more takes and stuff like that, you just go with it and you go with the flow as such, or do you kind of say, okay, no, actually we got it, and they trust that judgment because they know what the team working around them?
I think there's a lot of factors, right? It's like sometimes actors will be like, I need another take, and the director will be like, no, I'm happy with it.
Yeah.
In general, I feel like everyone tries to respect each other's process. Yeah. So like, whenever possible, I think everyone who asks for another take gets it, unless there's a production hurdle.
Do you, as personally as a DOP and cinematographer, do you feel that you like that? You said you were the AC on that film, and but like, if the production gets bigger, does it get kind of weighed down a bit more, or do you find that it's actually?
It depends. Sometimes it really does. Yeah,
I imagine.
And sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes more crew means a faster set.
Yeah.
But like on Thanksgiving, it was amazing because we shot like all the apartment scenes are in my apartment.
Okay.
And like, I just had the camera in my apartment. The actors would show up. A couple of people that were showing would help like show up.
Yeah, yeah.
I would turn the camera on.
Yeah.
And we could start shooting.
Yeah.
And we had, we shot for 14 days or 12 days, and they were like 8-hour days. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
It was really easy and quick because it was just we were nimble.
Yeah.
But that suited the approach.
Yeah.
The film doesn't have like a big lofty visual style that needed more resources or more time.
Can I ask you, like personally, how you got into it? What made you want to go towards filmmaking? Just you, why you did?
I did skate videos growing up.
Yeah,
that was like what I came up in. And part of it was me not really knowing what else to do with myself.
Okay.
And then also like when I was doing skate videos, I started dabbling in like short films, and like I was actually really into editing. Like that was the most fun part. I'd shoot a bunch of stuff, and then I would just spend all night on the computer editing things together.
Yeah, yeah.
So
where are you from, Adam? Just wondering, like
from Oregon.
Oregon, okay.
Yeah,
That's in the middle.
Coast.
West Coast.
Just north of California.
North of California.
Yeah.
What's the name of the place?
Called Portland.
Portland.
Yeah.
I heard Portland's. My dad went to San Francisco to see his brother. He was a bit ill recently, but like, I've never seen the West Coast. So
dude, it's so beautiful.
But Portland and like Seattle, I've always wanted to go to Seattle.
Yeah.
But Portland, I hear, is really good for like music and like it's just a great city and stuff like that. So yeah. But like, I didn't know you were from there, so that's kind of cool. Okay, so going back to things. Okay, so aligning what you're saying. So I saw something in Thanksgiving, and I obviously seen Last Black Man in San Francisco, and that kind of like, say, micro to macro situation.
Yeah.
One thing I liked about it is that when I was watching, say, the trailer for Thanksgiving, was that there was kind of like I saw like Edward Hopper. I was wondering if influences are a conscious thing for you. Mm-hmm. So like Edward Hopper kind of came across to me, and also
for Last Black Man or
for kind of like I've seen it in both. I think really, but like the distance you have. And it's like that's like the skateboard down the hill. Last Black Man in San Francisco. It's like that's like the most wide thing I've ever seen anything. Andrew. Sound, but I guess the Sandman's nearby and blah blah. But like but that kind of existential loneliness you kind of have, or how you typify that one character in that particular scene. Let's say Last Black Man in San Francisco. Is it a conscious thing for you to like think about that imagery?
Totally. I think that is actually one trope of my work. I feel like is I really like wide shots of people in space. I think it's powerful. Yeah. And it's a way to connect with people. Yeah. I think you connect with people by being very close to them. Yeah. Or you can connect with them by empathizing with where they are contextually. Right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
References are super important to me, and I don't know if you've been sitting in on any of the seminars, but like
not yet.
Lawrence Sher, who shot Joker, he was talking yesterday and going through references from Joker, like references he pulled for Joker.
Yeah.
And even as he was looking at the references, he's like, oh my god, that shot is a shot in Joker.
Yeah.
And he's like, I just ripped that off, but like I didn't reference that.
Yeah.
I didn't show the director like, let's do this shot.
Yeah.
It was just him spending time with those references, and it became subconscious.
Yeah.
There were multiple times where he was just like, oh shit, I'm totally. And at the end of the day, like, that's kind of how it works. Is like there are no new ideas. It's just about creating this collage of tones and ideas and putting them together.
Sometimes I think references like that, and also it's like a subconscious level anyway. It's like how society is, how our like social demographic is, and that's kind of what seems to come across as typified in Last Black Man.
Yeah.
And that whole story for me was like, gentrification, how San Francisco's changing.
Yeah.
And I mean, the opening montage was like phenomenal because
Thanks,
like,
man.
I was mad.
Yeah.
I was just like, it's just mad to know that you did that. I was like, well, it doesn't make sense, but like, but it's wicked and like, but you know, you highlight the characters.
Yeah.
And and actually, there was a reference, not to be like rude or anything, but you know the four guys that stand on the corner, the group of black guys who are the friends of the two leads. Yeah. Like the way they were, their chemistry, in a totally like a positive way, nothing sort of negative or anything, because there's connotations. But you know the black crows in the Dumbo film, in Dumbo, like the group of black crows. I don't want to sound that too close, but it was just, it was like a light-hearted thing, and I thought like it's really sweet because you can see the dynamic between the four characters almost immediately. Yeah. And you love that power bit. They're just standing on the street corner and they're like mocking them and stuff like that. Yeah. And it's kind of like ticked off that thing.
And I think part of it is the way that we shot it, right? So it's like shooting Jimmie and Mont in a very dynamic way. Yeah. It's like has a lot of depth and nuance, and then you cut to just like boom, this 4 shot of them or 5 shot, and it's just them as a group. Yeah. And it allows them to interplay, you know. And it was, for that, it was less about cutting a lot and more about just putting them in one single frame and letting them do their thing, and that's just responding to the energy of the scene, right? Yeah. Like,
so if you're blocking that out in the day, so if you've got the four actors on the street, and you know you've chatted to Joe Talbot, you've chatted to Joe, and like you're saying, okay, we're going to do this, this, and this. Yeah. If there's time, do you just go for extra scenes and see what you can get from it? If you've got the tick list of the shots you've got, or was it more?
When
organic?
You say scenes, you mean scenes or shots?
Sorry, shots.
Yeah. Sometimes I find that in general we always schedule way more shots than we have time for. So like
I get that.
We kind of prioritize, like we'll shot list and say first we'll do just like I call it just a brain dump where you just like spill every idea out from your head out onto paper. Yeah. And then you're constantly refining it and figuring out what it needs. And then you're seeing that shot list in the context of the entire script and saying like, well, we have 30 shots for this 10-second scene and we have 2 shots for this 3-minute long scene. There's some discrepancy there. Like, you know, we need to balance it out. We need to figure out the flow and the transition. Once you have that shot list that feels good within the grander scheme of things, you're then looking at your schedule and saying, okay, we only have 2 hours to shoot this scene, but I have 12 shots on here. There's no way we're going to do that. Yeah. So I'll start prioritizing and being like, these are the shots we definitely need. These are the nice to have. Yeah.
I've had that on shoots I do, so I do a lot of brand and media content, and as a producer director, so I was shooting in Iceland and this and that, and like managing for like YouTubers and stuff like that. But it's like, you know, I get the basics, get everything I can to get the story told in a way. Yeah. But the thing is, they always come up with other ideas, or there's always sometimes it might have to be pushed to the side. Yeah. But unfortunately, I mean, working with Joe as well, working with Joe Talbot, how was that, and how did he find you, or how did you two find each other to work together?
I actually found Joe through Anne, who I just said hi to. I saw his short film at Sundance like a couple years before, and I was just like absolutely in love with it. So Anne helped me track him down and just get a meeting with him. Yeah. And then we had a few meetings and we just kind of hit it off. But yeah, working with Joe was amazing. He was really trusting of me, and I was really trusting of him. Yeah. And it allowed us both to just take risks. Yeah. And push each other. And like we were constantly pushing each other, and we were like sometimes really combative on set, but it was always like out of a place of respect and wanting the best for the movie. Yeah. You know.
I think when I had my short film, the one that Altered States, was like, it was more to do with, on the first day, the DOP was kind of wanting to take control. And at the same time I said, that's cool, man, just do those shots, but like, you know, also I need to get this, and this, because I need to make sure of that. And I could see he was like going, and then I think he just also, like, maybe AC said something to him, but he just kind of like calmed down, and we kind of just like got in tune with each other. Cool. And I think that relationship, that happens anyway, I think, when you're finding your feet on the first day of shooting and stuff like that. So,
no, totally, and that's part of it. It's, you know, it's finding out how to work with people, because in the heat of being on set, it gets really intense, and like all the sides of your personality come out. Yeah. So it's for me, it's like a constant.
Have you ever gotten a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, I've gotten into fights, I've gotten into like intense things, but for the most part, they've always been out of just wanting the best for the film. Yeah. It's one thing, like I always say, even like also to my crew, is like, if we're shouting at each other, it's like never personal on set. You know, like you never make it personal. It's always just everyone wanted the best. And like, some people just have really strong personalities and have a way of expressing themselves that are like more aggressive.
Yeah.
And I've tried through my career to be less and less like that because I think it can create a really bad vibe on set.
Yeah, there's my camera died.
Oh shit.
Yeah, sorry.
So apologies, that's where the camera actually cut out because I hadn't charged my Osmo Pocket, which is a bit of a shame. But I did do a voice memo, and this is where the actual story picks up. So we've done about 15 minutes of the video, and the next 15 minutes are the rest of the interview on audio, and I will supply some images on top which will complement what I'm talking about. So yeah, enjoy the rest of the video. Apologies for the camera dying, it's not very well prepared. I guess I was overexcited to meet Adam Newport Berra. So yeah, I guess enjoy the rest of the video. Take care.
But yeah, I think another part, like, you really have to react. I think one thing that I'm learning as I'm getting more experience is you just have to react to the energy of a set.
Yeah.
Because you spend all this time writing and prepping, producing, you know, getting ready to shoot, and then you're on set, you think you need all these things, and then the actors do something completely different, or they need something different.
Yeah.
Like, it's up to us to react to that in a way that like fosters creativity and progression, and not just like, no, you need to fit it into this box that I found for you.
How was it working with Jimmie Fails and is it Montgomery?
Jonathan Majors.
Jonathan Majors, sorry.
They were amazing.
Jonathan
was really cool. Jimmie was amazing. Jimmie kind of plays himself in the movie.
Yeah.
Jimmie had a lot less experience acting. Jonathan is like a very classically trained actor.
Yeah.
And so their energies were very different, but I think that was a good thing. And like they helped each other out. I think Jimmie kind of loosened up Jonathan.
Yeah.
And Jonathan helped Jimmie like focus and like kind of figure things out.
Yeah.
And like there was kind of this constant like ebb and flow of like one kind of leading the other a little bit and doing their own thing.
Yeah.
So they were really fun to work with, and also just like hard workers and really cared about the film.
Yeah.
It was like really special.
Yeah.
To just be a part of something where everyone just cared so deeply about it. Like everyone was in it to tell that story.
Yeah.
You know.
I think from an objective perspective, completely, and like, but it feels like, you know, there seems to be something lost in America slightly, or there's something coming across in that story for me where it's like things are changing, like always, and then there's this like, for me, it's the idea of the American dream and what it means to have a dream, and like what's actually happening in America, because like I don't know the state of America. I'm obviously in the UK, and I see it totally from a distance.
Yeah.
But like but it kind of emulated certain things for me about 70s cinema, and like, you know, not in the anti-hero sense, but also the idea of like, you know, wanting to go west and like be in the west and follow those dreams and have the big dream and the small dream, and what that actually means to young people. Yeah, you're getting suppressed by culture and society, which really fucks things up.
No, it's cool you say that.
Yeah. And even that last, the thing, I mean, I'm not being funny, but that last shot killed me on the river.
Oh yeah.
On the San Francisco Bay.
Yeah.
Is it? Yeah.
Bay, yeah.
And like it just totally like, it just reminded me of like, I'm sorry, just all these different references come in and stuff, but it reminded me of like, you know, the Good Will Hunting scene in like the room, the therapy room, when he talks about the Winslow Homer ripoff.
Yeah.
And that shot of him on the boat and the things are crashing over him, and yet Jimmie goes out on that boat, and then those shots were like the fog in the background. Was that? I mean, it just actually killed me. Like it totally killed me.
That's cool. You know, people were like, "What happened to him?" You know, that's not the point.
No, it isn't.
You know?
No, I don't.
There is no answer. Joe doesn't have an answer to that.
Really?
You know, it's just like, it's really just.
I feel like he's begun a new journey. That's what.
Yeah, and some people are like, "Did he kill himself?" Like a lot of people ask that. You know what I mean? And I think it's really like, I think the assumptions are kind of a reflection of how people see the world. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
it's about what people want to bring to life. Like, he must have killed him.
People are like really cynical.
Because I would.
Yeah, exactly. But no, I like what you said about things changing in America and kind of like wanting to go west, because I always saw Jimmie and Jonathan as like frontiersmen. You know, they're like cowboys in a weird way. It's kind of lonely, and they're just like they're loners. And San Francisco is a very crowded, busy city, but in the same way, it's like they kind of take their own path.
Yeah.
You know.
Do you? I mean, you're from Portland, but you know San Francisco. Do you know the city quite well as such? And
I've spent a decent amount of time there.
Yeah.
I've been there a lot throughout my life because my family's from that area. But I didn't have any like special deep connection to the city. Like when I prep the film, I spent a lot of time like walking around the city, like familiarizing myself with it, and just taking pictures.
Okay, cool. What do you see, like, where do you want to go in the future? I mean, you're doing almost, the job you really love, and you're doing the job you're doing, or what's your hope for it?
I'm never really satisfied, you know? Like, it's like, I think that's just like it's like natural for people to do what we do. I just want to tell good stories with good people, you know? For me, I often try to picture like where I want to be at and the jobs I want to be doing, and I think what I do like is I do want to be working on bigger scale projects where I have more time and more resources, because the indie films are really fun, but they're so stressful and they're challenging. They take your heart and they rip it out and they shred it to pieces, you know, and you hope that it something comes of it, because I've done plenty of feature films that like didn't do, like, I worked just as hard as I did on Last Black Man, and like not a lot came of it. You know, and it would be nice to be able to have more resources and more time and have the luxury of being able to like explore a scene, as opposed to saying you have like an hour to shoot an entire scene that's the movie hinges on.
But are you gonna do? Are you having to do your own more projects like Thanksgiving and like do more writing, or do you reckon you just
not really? I mean, Thanksgiving was something I always wanted to make a film. To kind of see how it felt. And I was at a point in my career where I had extra time on my hands.
2014, right?
When
it came out.
I think so. So I had time on my hands because I wasn't, I was still getting into the cinematography game, and I wanted to just try to make a movie with all these people, because all the people who worked in the film were like very close friends. So I was like, let's just make a movie, see what happens. I'm actually really interested in doing more documentary work. I love, like, on a personal level, I love process, and I love like observational films that tell a story without words.
What advice would you give me to say what I'm doing? Do you think I'm doing the right thing by just doing that and getting on with it? And
I think for me, I think the biggest advice I give people who are like coming up in the industry is to just make stuff. Like, that's the most. I think that's I think there are different ways to come at it. Some people take the crew route, where they like work as assistants and they work under other DPs. I think that's a totally viable route, and you can learn a lot from the people that you're working for. Or you can just make stuff. You know what I mean? And I just kind of made stuff, and I shot things for other people, and just kept creating and taking risks and making mistakes and failing and then trying again and learning from everything.
But a lot of people would say it's the money. It's like, I've always been, I'd say I've done my job and I get paid for my job, and I'm good at my job to the degree I do it. So I'm lucky to get paid. I always feel really lucky to get paid to do what I love. But a lot of people say, but what about money and the cost and stuff like that? I mean, have you ever had times where it's been,
I mean,
it's hard for everyone getting it.
I was broke for a long time living in New York, and I would shoot like terrible commercial jobs or like done for hire things, and then I would be able to shoot a music video, a short film for free. I was like okay with struggling in that way. I think it's actually some things I do tell people is like it's dangerous to get too comfortable making money, because then the longer you do that, the more you live this comfortable life, and the harder it is to suffer making the short films and things like that. And I'm really grateful that I was broke for a long time, just doing shit money jobs and cool commercial and like music video work. Not cool commercial, like cool music videos and short films. So I think the more you can just push yourself to create is better, because I see a lot of like camera assistants I see a lot of camera assistants who actually do go through the system and become amazing cinematographers, and they're actually way more connected than I am, and have like watched amazing DPs work. But then I also see a lot that are like, I was going to DP, but then I got really good at acing, and I was hired by all the best DPs, and I made a ton of money, and I didn't want to step down to sets that weren't as cool as mine. So I think there's no right way to do it, but my advice more than anything is to just put yourself in a situation where you can be creating things and be taking risks and like making mistakes and just exploring. The more you can be doing that, and the more you're putting yourself out there and putting your voice out there, the more chances you have for something to stick.
Okay, one last question. What was your favorite personal moment when you were making Last Black Man in San Francisco? The one bit
while
while
we were making it.
Yeah. It could be anything. I was just curious because so many scenes that kind of ping off in my head, like the theatre scene in the house, like at the end when Jonathan Majors does like the flip thing, and then I mean, I just wondering when was the moment you were like, oh, this is good.
Yeah. That's a good question. I mean, that scene was so stressful to shoot. We had one day to shoot all that, and it
reminded me of Rushmore a little bit.
It was like not fun to shoot. I mean, it was fun, but it was like I was just in go mode because we had that entire cast sitting there waiting for us.
Danny Glover as well. I met him. I interviewed
Rob Morgan and Tina Arnold. Like all those people were there.
Yeah.
And
but your personal one, the one.
Honestly, a lot of the scenes between Jimmie and Jonathan were the most precious to me, where I could just set up a camera and let them riff and let them play off of each other.
Yeah.
And I had time to light and compose things. Those are some of the most gratifying moments.
Cool, man.
Yeah.
Wicked. Thanks so much.
Yeah, and you got my email, so
yeah, I will. I'll drop you an email.
Just hit me up sooner than later. Okay. And I should have some time next week to sit down and cool over stuff. But yeah, we should keep talking.
Thanks, Adam. It's great.
Another thing I forgot to say was, if you like that video, there'll be more Camerimage videos coming in the next coming weeks. It's all from Camerimage 2019, which I went to with my friend Tomoy and my other friend Joe, both filmmakers. So yeah, click here for more videos regarding Camerimage or other videos from Hellotouf. And do leave a comment, and make sure you subscribe, and I'll see you soon. Take care.